what happened to the young engineer named Dieuhan when he decided to quit his job and travel hundreds of kilometers from Jack Lak to Vinh Long just to find a single mother. Today, we continue to follow the emotional journey of Dieu Han, a single mother with a past full of hidden pain as she sets out to find her biological parents in a strange city. Dieuhan, a young, kind-hearted, introverted engineer with a bright future ahead. Back in his hometown, he was always quietly supporting Han and her child. He never confessed his feelings. Instead, he silently cared for her, valuing her peace more than anything else. Then one day, Dieuhan heard the shocking news Han had left with little Tom without saying a word, heading to Vinh Long in search of her birth parents, people she had never met. The news hit Dieuhan like a bolt of lightning. Han left without a word. He knew she was afraid that he would once again sacrifice everything for her, his job, his unfinished projects. And she was right. In that very moment, Dieuhan didn't think twice. He took a month-long leave from work, put everything on hold, and hit the road alone. The journey from Jack Lak to Vinh Long spans nearly 400 kilometers. Dieuhan drove an old car, carrying just a few sets of clothes and a heart full of worry. He didn't even know Han's exact location, only that she was somewhere near the riverside, where she believed her parents were living. In the quiet atmosphere of Vinh Long City, in a modest but warm little room, little Tom was sound asleep. Han sat beside her son, gently fanning him with a hand fan while softly humming a familiar lullaby. Her eyes were fixed on Tom, and a wave of longing rose in her heart. If only he had a complete family with a mother and grandparents. The door creaked open gently. Dieuhan stepped in, careful not to wake the sleeping child. She looked at Tom and whispered, "He's sleeping so well. So, when do you plan to go see Mr. Chin Lai Hong?" Han's eyes grew thoughtful. "I think I'll take Tom there this afternoon, just to talk a little, ask more about my parents." Dieuhan hesitated. Han? You need to be careful. There are fewer good people than those with hidden agendas." Han smiled, knowing Dieuhan was just worried about her. "I know, but thank you for caring, Dieuhan." By late afternoon, Tom woke up. Han carried him and walked down the familiar path to Mr. Chin's house. As they neared the gate, something in Han's instincts told her to stop. Voices of an argument drifted from inside the house. She quietly stood behind the slightly ajar gate, holding Tom tightly in her arms, listening. Mrs. Chin's angry voice rang out. "What are you going to do about that girl, Han? I'm not letting her stay here." Mr. Chin's voice lowered, firm but calm. "You can't say that. The poor girl came here all the way from the countryside. She has no one." Mrs. Chin snapped. "Poor girl. And what about my daughter T? You kicked her out. She's my own flesh and blood. Just because she didn't want to marry the man you picked for her, you threw her out. She's your daughter too." Mr. Chin barked, "Don't bring her up again." She was stubborn. "I just wanted her to marry someone wealthy so she wouldn't have to suffer. Who knew she'd disappear without a trace?" In that moment, Han couldn't hold back any longer. She stepped through the gate. "Hello, Uncle and Aunt." Both of them froze. Mr. Chin quickly put on a welcoming face. "Oh, Han, it's you. Come in, have some tea." Han gently replied, "Thank you, but I won't stay long. I just wanted to let you know I'm staying with a friend, and I'm doing okay. If there's any news about my father, I'll come by." Mr. Chin frowned. "But it's dangerous to stay with strangers. You don't know anyone here you could get tricked? Han lowered her head politely. I'm okay, Uncle. My friend is really kind. Before Mr. Qin could say more, Han bowed slightly, then turned and walked away with Tom in her arms. On the way back, Han couldn't stop thinking about what she had just overheard. Her thoughts were tangled. Who is T? Why did Mrs. Qin emphasize con gai T? If they're husband and wife, wouldn't Tai be their daughter together? Or is there something more between them? At that very moment, while driving under the scorching sun of Vin Long, Than's car suddenly came to a halt. A strange clunk echoed from the front of the vehicle. The engine began to sputter, then went completely silent. The car shook slightly before shutting off entirely. Than frowned and stepped on the gas. Nothing. He opened the door, squinting under the harsh sunlight, then walked to the front and popped the hood. The engine was burning hot. There was a faint, burnt smell. Than sighed. He looked around an empty road. No shade, no repair shop, not even a sign in sight. No one to ask for help. Than began pushing the car along the roadside. Each meter dragged on as the sun blazed overhead. Sweat ran down his back, soaking his shirt. His hands stung from the heat and the strain. His breathing grew heavy, but still, he pushed forward with determination. Eventually, Than had to stop, leaning against the hood of the car to catch his breath. Just then, a young man passed by. Than quickly called out, "Hey, excuse me, do you know if there's a repair garage nearby?" The man paused briefly, shook his head and replied, "I don't know, sorry, I can't help you." Then he walked away, then felt a bit disappointed. But suddenly, the young man turned back and called out, "If you're looking for someone, try heading to the ferry dock over there. There's a motorbike taxi driver who might know if anyone matching your description has been around." Than's eyes lit up. "Thank you," he said, locked his car, and hurried off toward the ferry. The broken car no longer mattered. What mattered now was finding Han and Tom. When he reached the dock, Than rushed onto the ferry ramp, eyes scanning constantly, searching for a familiar figure. In his hurry, he bumped into a young man. "Sorry, I'm in a rush," Than said. The man just smirked and walked off quickly. Than didn't give it a second thought. All he knew was he had to keep going. After crossing the ferry, Than followed a rocky dirt path along the riverside. That's when he spotted a middle-aged man sitting on a motorbike with a motorbike taxi sign. Than approached him, pulled out his phone, and showed a photo of Han and Tom, an old snapshot taken from behind during a peaceful afternoon in the countryside. "Uncle, have you seen this mother and child around here?" The man looked at the photo for a moment. His eyes suddenly widened. His expression changed. "Oh, I remember them. I helped them once. Such kind people." A wave of relief swept over Than. "Can you take me to them?" "I'll pay you double." The man nodded. "Hop on, I'll take you." The motorbike sped through winding turns and down small stone-paved roads. Meanwhile, Han was carrying Tom along the small dirt path leading back to Uyen's house. She looked down at her son's tiny face. His eyes gently closed, eyelashes fluttering softly with each breath. Just watching Tom like that calmed her heart. Why did Mrs. Qin mention a daughter named T? And why did she run away from home? The heated argument Han had overheard behind the gate earlier left her confused. She couldn't shake the strange feeling about the connection between Mr. and Mrs. Qin's story. and Dieuhan, her dearest friend, the one who had been sheltering her and Tom these past few days. Something doesn't feel right. But should I tell Dieuhan? Han wondered, then fell silent. She didn't want to worry Dieuhan, nor did she want to stir up old wounds, especially if everything was just a misunderstanding. She recalled the trusting, supportive looks from the people around her, the looks that gave her strength. And then, the image of Dieuhan, the quiet, gentle engineer, came flooding back. I wonder how Dieuhan is doing now? Is he still working on his construction site? Is he eating and resting well? Han sighed, her eyes clouded with worry. She knew he always quietly cared for her and Tom. She knew he would drop everything to help her whenever she was in trouble. And it was exactly because of that she had chosen to leave home in silence, without saying a word of goodbye to him. As they neared the riverside walkway, the place the motorbike driver had said Han and her son often visited, the man pulled over and stopped the bike. Dieuhan reached into his pocket, then went pale. His wallet gone. He frantically patted himself down. Shirt pocket, pants, jacket, nothing. And then, in a flash, it hit him, the young man at the ferry. That bump, that crooked smile. It had been a professional pickpocket move. Dieuhan lowered his head in despair, stunned, but just as it felt like everything was falling apart, the motorbike driver gently said he could pay him back another time. Dieuhan was overwhelmed. His voice came out hoarse. Thank you. Thank you so much. Following the directions the man had given, Dieuhan didn't stop to rest. He rushed toward the dirt road that led to a row of small houses near the riverside. The rain was still falling lightly, its cold droplets stinging his sunburned skin. He ran past house after house, heart pounding with a mix of hope and worry. To everyone he passed, he showed a small photo of Han and Tom, a rare shot from behind, taken on a peaceful afternoon back in their hometown. One middle-aged woman squinted at the photo, thinking, looks familiar. I think I saw them walking this way earlier today. She was carrying the little one. Really? Do you know where they are now? Dieuhan nearly shouted over the sound of the rain. I'm not sure, but they can't be far. Try heading straight down this road. Ask the folks in the alley. Dieuhan bowed his head in thanks and immediately kept moving. The rain lashed his face. Mud clung to the bottom of his pants. But he didn't care. There was only one thing in his mind right now. I have to find Han. Even just a glimpse of her would be enough. Dieuhan kept going, stepping up to each small house along the roadside. Han, where are you, Han? His voice echoed through the misty rain, but no one answered. Dusk was falling. The narrow streets were growing emptier by the minute. Standing at a three-way intersection, Dieuhan looked around as the rain began to pour harder. With no clue where else to go, he finally turned back toward the spot where he had left his broken-down car. Sitting beside the old vehicle, Dieuhan leaned his head against the steering wheel. The wind slipped in through the cracked window, icy and cutting. Helpless. That was the only word that could describe him now. He whispered to himself, I wonder how Han is doing now. Is she still safe? Has someone taken advantage of her? Was I too late? Will Dieuhan ever find Han and little Tom again? Stay with us to find out.
Thanh tiếp tục đi, bước vào từng ngôi nhà ven đường. Hân ơi, em ở đâu rồi? Tiếng gọi của anh vang vọng trong màn mưa, mờ mịt, không một ai đáp lại. Trời dần tối, những con phố nhỏ bắt đầu thương người. Thanh đứng giữa ngã ba, quay đầu nhìn quanh. Mưa mỗi lúc nặng hạt hơn. Không còn biết đi đâu, anh đành quay về nơi đã bỏ lại chiếc xe. Ngồi bên chiếc ô tô cũ kỹ, Thanh cúi đầu tựa vào vô lăng. Gió lùa qua khe cửa, lạnh buốt, bất lực. Đó là cảm giác duy nhất lúc này. Anh thì thầm, không biết Hân giờ sao rồi, có còn ổn không, có ai bị lừa không, mình đã đến trễ rồi sao, liệu Thanh có thể gặp lại mẹ con Hân không, cùng mình chờ đón nhé.